And this, as I said earlier, we begin this, I like to see it as concentric circles of time. So the beginning of the Haftarot of consolation is an outside circle. That the third week of those circles brings us to Rosh Chodesh Elul, which is tonight. That's another level of concentric circle. And in 4 weeks, we go into Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. But before that, the week before Rosh Hashanah, we'll have Slichot. So that brings us another concentric circle in. And then the week that we'll have between Slichot and Rosh Hashanah is an inside circle. And in Jewish tradition, Rosh Hashanah is the celebration of the birthday of the world. So each day of the week leading up to Rosh Hashanah, tradition has it, is another day of creation itself. And that's another story I'll hold until we're closer there. That's another drash. But Rosh Hashanah and then those 10 days of awe are the most concentrated, leading, of course, to Yom Kippur itself, Shabbat. It is considered the Sabbath of Sabbaths, the Shabbat of all Shabbats. It's the most concentrated of them all. So this is a journey we're on together. And tonight is Rosh Chodesh, which is different than benching Chodesh, which is what we did last Friday night. We bless the new moon, the new month of the week to come, when we do the blessing of the new month. Somebody asked me about this. It didn't make sense, and I get that. It doesn't really make sense. But the week before Rosh Chodesh, we bless the month to remind us it's coming in anticipation of it. But on Rosh Chodesh itself, which is the beginning of the new month, which is tonight, we say the special prayers that were in the Amidah. We'll recite a little bit of Hallel. Rosh Chodesh itself is kind of a mini holiday. But last week we reminded ourselves with that blessing, it's coming. And we did tonight is Shabbat, so this was in the coming week from last week. So this is Rosh Chodesh Elul. So a few words about the Parsha and this moment in time. And by the way, Max, did you move? How did the move go? It went great. You're all moved? I know, moves are painful, but you're moved? You made it. Now you live in Brooklyn? Clinton Hill. We got another Brooklyn person here. Okay. 2. Well, down here. Jeannie lives in Fort Greene, right? Or Clinton Hill? Well, there you go. See? I know, but I was just pointing out Jeannie was excited. Hello, very happy to have you both here tonight, and Mazel Tov on the move. So the question I think a lot of us have to grapple with to some degree before we arrive at these days of awe is, the world is in such bad shape. Does God really care about the ways I haven't achieved all of the perfections I'm aiming for? Do my chata'im, the ways that I haven't hit the mark, matter if things are going on in the world that are on such a scale of gross evil? How do I focus on these things when the world is so disturbing? So this Parsha begins with the very famous words, and for those Hebrew readers, I want you, Hebrew understanders, because since I'm reading it, you're not reading it, tell me what's a little strange about the grammar here. Re'eh anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha uklala. What's weird about that for anybody who understands the Hebrew? Chana? Re'eh is in the singular. Lifnechem is in the plural. So that's a little strange in a sentence, right? It says see or look or notice or visualize or look, something like that. Re'eh, look. I am giving lifnechem, to you, but the you is plural. Hebrew, English we can get away with you and not know whether it's plural or singular. Hebrew, it's a little, you can't miss it. So here, re'eh, singular. I am giving you, lifnechem, plural. So get it? Everybody follow me? I'm not sure I said that right. Re'eh, look, singular. I am giving you, basically, lifnechem, hayom, today, bracha uklala, blessing and curses, or curse. I am giving you, look, singular, I'm giving you, plural, a blessing and curse. This is the very beginning of a very complicated parsha. But I'm just going to stay with this pasuk, this verse, for a moment. Because in this pasuk, it has this paradox or tension that we live with all the time. We are individuals. We have a certain amount of power over our own individual lives, but we are ultimately part of a collective. And there are things over which we don't have as much control. And there are ways even that our individual issues are deeply connected to the communal. And there are ways that the communal issues are deeply influenced by the individual. There is a tension or a relationship or a paradox or sometimes a conflict. Different societies answer that question differently, right? Some societies are clear that the communal, the plural, the collective is the most important, and the individual's job is to fit in as well as possible and to conform to strengthen themselves by being a strong connection to the communal. Some societies focus a lot on the individual and imagine that the individual has all the power. And I would say that that's an American sickness, right? It's kind of an American disease. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps, right? There's no communal that affects who you are. Your future is entirely decided by your own personal motivation, hard work, commitment. And there are societies in which the communal is all important and there is no sense of individuation. And those societies likewise have a disease attached to them, right? There's a disease in them. I just read a very moving book by a Uyghur. Uyghurs are the Muslims in China who are being tremendously oppressed by the Chinese government. And the re-education of the Uyghurs are to teach them that they have no identity that the Communist Party hasn't told them to adopt. And they are being put by the millions, these Muslims in China, into concentration camps and labor camps and being told their individual identities do not matter. The only thing that matters is how well they blend in, conform, become a part of the larger Chinese culture and society. And if they don't, they are in absolute danger. So we see that both of these have their sicknesses to them, right? You can't just be simplistic and say the collective is important or the individual is important. They both have a sickness. In this pasuk, though, we have both. And I think in this, the parsha itself is trying to teach us something that I think we at CBST struggle to achieve all the time, which is there is a profound relationship between individual and community that is important in both directions. The community can only be made up of individuals, and individuals are less than if they're not part of a community. Those things are true if both are held in a healthy balance. So the parsha says, re'eh, to the singular, because each of us has to make individual choices, whatever the collective world in which we find ourselves. Sefarno and many of the Mefarshim, the commentators, point out this tension between the singular and the plural, and point out the fact that the beginning of the pasuk is singular because each of us has choices to make as individuals all the time. And so it's as if the Holy One is saying, look, you, not you, Susan, not just look collectively, because on some level we are human beings that are individual. So in order to even begin this exercise, each of us has to wake up and be aware and to look. Each of us has to take the first step. Re'eh, look. It's like the Shema, listen, hear, awake and be aware. Get out of the numbed out state of depression and look around the world in which you live. If we don't take that on as an individual, then forget it. It's like, then the rest of the Chumash and the rest of this would be a kind of a to whom it may concern, right? And who listens to it to whom it may concern? The Chumash here is not saying, to whom it may concern, I'm giving you blah, blah, blah. It's saying, look, listen, wake up. No matter what's going on communally, you individual have a role to play. You cannot hide behind the, oi, gewalt, everything out there is terrible, therefore I have no agency. Therefore, I have no power. Therefore, I can't do anything. That's the danger, right? That is the danger. We have all gone through this. I don't need to remind us. We know it. This pasuk is saying, Re'eh, you matter because if you don't open your metaphorical eyes or your metaphorical ears, or pay attention in whatever way it is you pay attention, nothing else will matter. Do not slip into the feeling that because it looks so bad, or because the collective is whatever it is, you have no agency or power. That's a big deal. That's telling us we matter no matter what. Each of us, every single person in this room, not just the one who's talking, not just the one who's singing, not just the one who's playing piano. Each one of us matters. Each one of us has something to offer the collective that the collective needs. And then what's the rest of the pasuk? So we start with, be aware, pay attention. Each of us, whatever it is you need to do is pay attention, because I have put before you collectively bracha, blessing, and klala, curse. Which are you, re'eh, singular, are going to pay attention to? Because it's all there collectively. This is our struggle, right? It's certainly my struggle every day with the news, with the world that we're living in, with how do we understand that it's our responsibility, each one of us, to look, and we have the power to decide whether we're focusing on the blessings or the curses. Each of us has that power. Each of us has the power to create blessings or to create curses. No matter what's going on, each of us has the power to spread blessing, and each of us has the power to spread curses. Each of us has the power to amplify blessings, and each of us has the power to amplify curses. Re'eh, anochi noten lifnechem hayom. I am putting this in front of you. Now, make your choice. I am praying that each of us gets strength from our community, from the various communities in which we all float, from the people around us, so that in this year to come, as we go through our personal work for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we remember our individual lives matter, no matter what's happening in the collective, the big collective world, and the personal work we do on ourselves, on our small family units, on our larger friendship circles, on our bigger neighborhoods or towns or cities or country. It starts in the singular with each of us. May these 4 weeks be a season of revelation. May these 4 weeks be a season in which you place more blessings in front of yourself than curses. May it be a month where you search for the blessing you are. And if you suffer from feeling like you personally are a curse, may this be a season of transformation. Let's do this work as individuals, but in a community that supports and loves us. Shabbat Shalom.